Welcome to Center Stage at SUNY Cortland, where we put a spotlight on our red dragons in the performing arts. Today, my special guest is senior musical theater major Olivia Goodman. Welcome, Olivia.
Hi, thank you for having me.
We're getting to know our seniors in these first episodes because they're going to have a lot of great events, fundraisers this year, and we really hope that if you have a chance to get to know them, that you'll also want to show your support to them as well. So let's get to know Olivia today. Olivia, tell us just a little bit about yourself.
Oh yeah, I'm from Southwest Virginia, specifically Roanoke, Virginia, which is known as the Star City of the South. So we have this giant illuminated star on the top of the mountain I live on, and it's a big deal. So I always tell people I'm from the Star City of the South.
That's
my mom
awesome.
says that stars come out of the Star City of the South. So that's what her excuse is for putting me in theater. I started theater when I was around 6 years old through Mill Mountain Theater, which is a local theater where I'm from. And I started in Annie. I played Molly in Annie when I was 6.
Classic
and
start.
Since then, I was obsessed with theater. Everything I did, I knew I wanted to do this for the rest of my life. And I was very lucky to grow up doing theater locally and at my school and everything.
That's really awesome. So as you, of course, started and you were really little and you got into it more and more, what were some of your favorite roles as you were, say, in high school or junior high?
Oh, yeah. One of my favorite roles at Mill Mountain Theater, I played Susan Waverly in White Christmas, which is the granddaughter from the movie. But that was one of the best artistic experiences I had through like middle school and high school because I got to work with an entirely professional cast that had come in. So it was a really big deal. And Eileen Grace, who's a famous Rockette, she choreographed it. So I got to have that lovely experience when I was growing up. But I played Little Red Riding Hood and Into the Woods. That was one of my favorites.
Nice.
My biggest role in high school, I played Janet Vandergraff in The Drowsy Chaperone, which was a super favorite.
Show.
And then I got to be a swing in a production of Mamma Mia at Mill Mountain Theater once again. And that was a really great experience doing that in high school and getting to work amongst professional actors to learn how to swing a show and go in for multiple tracks and be a good ensemble member and understand like where I fit into the dances and everything. It was really cool.
That's awesome. Can you pinpoint one of those experiences as being the time that you realized, I think I could do this for a living?
I think it was during White Christmas when I realized all the actors weren't going to stay in Roanoke with me and they were going to go to New York City and go on to their next gig. And I was like, I want to go on to my next gig. And I was like, oh, but I'm just living in this town. I need to do this for the rest of my life. So I need to move forward and be able to get my degree, live in New York City and do what they were doing, move from job to job, do a show and go to the next city. I dreamed of doing that since I was little.
That's wonderful. So who were some of the people early on who inspired you in theater?
So I had 2 separate theaters that I worked at a lot when I was younger. I worked through Roanoke Children's Theater, which is now Virginia Children's Theater. And my mentor there, I had 2 mentors. I had Pat Wilhelms, who started the organization of Roanoke Children's Theater, and Brett Roden, who eventually did transition it to Virginia Children's Theater. Both of them inspired me so much as a young child and gave me the tools I needed to be successful moving into college for theater. And then at Mill Mountain Theater, I worked with Ginger Poole, who is the producing artistic director there. And she gave me my first role. And since then was one of my biggest advocates and believed in me and continued to help me get theater education through their educational program.
That's awesome. I think we always do owe a lot to our theater educators that are out there. So I really always love to be able to hear those names and learn exactly who they are. So you've shared a little bit with me about how you ended up at SUNY Cortland. Oh, yeah. Could you tell us a little bit about the story of how you found SUNY Cortland and ultimately ended up here?
Yeah, so I actually found SUNY Cortland through TikTok, the app. I was scrolling through TikTok and our former music director, Jacob Call, his page came up on my For You page. And I saw him playing the piano. And in his bio, it was like, if you want to work with me, apply to this school. And I did a little research on it and they were doing, they take video submissions. So I submitted my pre-screens as a video submission because I was just kind of running out of time and not having so much luck in the audition process, not hearing from places until later. I was like, I'm going to take a chance on this school. And I really liked everything I had seen from them. So took a chance, and then they sent me a letter in the mail, and they said, you got in? And I said, oh, I got into the school academically. That's sweet. They're like, no, girl, you can come here. And I was like, oh, my gosh. So my mom drove me 10 hours from Virginia all the way up here. We toured, and I fell in love with the facilities and the people and the environment. And I watched a lot of their production videos because it was COVID time, so I couldn't really see anything live. But I was like, yep, this is it. I'm sold.
That was really serendipitous. And I think we as a college are really glad that we're able to start branching out a little bit more, that we have people from Virginia, we have a freshman from Florida this year, and it's really great to just get beyond our little tri-state area.
Yes.
So then you are here at SUNY Cortland. Would you share with us some of your experiences and maybe even some of the heights of what you've learned here at SUNY?
Yeah. So in my time here, I have gotten to be involved in a ton of productions, which I think the best way to learn is being hands-on and is just doing the thing. So I'm really grateful that they don't have a bench system for freshmen, and that as a freshman, my first show I got to do here was Big Fish, which was kind of the first show back from COVID, the first big main stage. And I have a really special place in my heart for that show because it was such a special show to be my first here, the first back from COVID, and the first that this community got to do theater again after everything that COVID put them through. So that was a really special experience. But also through my time here, I'm very lucky to have had a lot of time to study independently. I've done a lot of independent studies through different professors that have aided me in not just in the classroom, but going past the classroom and doing work behind the scenes and doing things. Right now, I'm in an independent study for creative imagination. So it's kind of deconstructing the ideas of learning that we currently have and getting to play, getting that childhood spark back of creating something and not having rules to it and getting to really reimagine the way you do things. It's been really nice.
That's excellent. So you would say that along with the opportunities that you've been offered here that are in the book, say, that you've been able to almost cater some of what you really want to learn.
Yes.
And that's excellent. That connection to faculty and setting your own goals.
Yes.
So some of our audiences may recognize Olivia from last season's Sweet Charity. Tell us a little bit about your character in Sweet Charity.
In Sweet Charity, I played Helene, who is one of Charity's best friends, and she is in a little different place in her life than Charity. Helene and Nikki, they are her two friends. They aren't as hopeful as Charity at the beginning. They think that this is their life for the rest of their lives, but they are eventually inspired by Charity and her hunger for something more, that they dream of something more as well. And they believe that there is something more for them out there, just like Charity.
And that's a perfect introduction to our video clip from Sweet Charity.
Hands in huddle, smooth lines like, baby, last night I dreamt you and I was in a cozy little cottage covered with clinging vines. And there we were, clinging more than the vines. And then he converts the convertible sofa and really goes to work. Quote, baby, dream your dream, close your eyes and try it, dream of furniture, dream that I can buy it, that fancy bed you prayed for, not only bought but paid for, dream we sign the lease, leave a small deposit, dream and one half room, with a walk-in closet. We'll ask the local jet set to dine on our dinette set. Right across the street, there's a friendly bakery. Make a friendly loan, and the bank says thank you. Every Saturday, we'll spend all our money. Join the PTA. And cream, baby, dream your dream.
Olivia, you've had some really great opportunities here at SUNY Cortland, but of course you must have a bucket list for the future. What are some of your dream roles?
Okay, so my favorite show of all time is Next to Normal. I think it's the most beautiful show I've ever listened to, seen, anything. So I would love to play Natalie in Next to Normal. That's a big dream of mine, something I want to do professionally and something I want to seek out for myself. But that's top tier. But I would also really like to do Legally Blonde. I've never gotten to be in a production of Legally Blonde.
Fun.
I'd obviously love to play Elle Woods, but I'd just like to be involved in Legally Blonde. I love that show.
So the energy of that show is just joyful.
Yes. I also really love Newsies. So I'd love to be involved in Newsies. I'd love to play Catherine, but I'd also love to play a newsie. I've my whole life dreamt of being in Newsies as one of the newsboys. I'm you could put me as Crutchy, you could put me as Race, you could really put me as anything. I would be super psyched.
I love that.
There's a lot of the shows that are just I want to be in this. Like when I did Grease, I got to do Grease Lightning with the guys, and that was something that was really special to me and inspired me to like, oh, I just saw The Outsiders. Like, I'd love to be able to be one of the greasers as a girl and like do the rumble and do all the things.
There is a girl in there. Yes, that show is incredible.
So there's a lot of things I want to do that are like that I think I want to explore recently. Just like shows that I'm like, oh, I want to be in the ensemble of this, but I want to do this song and I want to do this, which is cool.
And we hope that, the world has shifted a little bit more towards this outside of the box thinking when it comes to things. And I think while parts of the theater world are a little behind in that, there's definitely a lot of forward movement that's happening that can open doors, which is excellent. So, of course, as part of our lives and careers as performers and theater majors, you are consumed with singing, acting, dancing, all of those things during the day. But beside that, what are the other things in your life that really bring you joy?
Yeah. So recently I've kind of taken on cooking. I really enjoyed cooking and making my own meals and preparing something special for myself at the end of my day that I know I put a lot of work in and I learned a skill towards, or I followed a recipe. I've been really enjoying that. I also really enjoy thrifting, going to different antique stores and thrift stores and kind of picking through them and finding the little knickknacks and things that I like, or clothes that I like, or things I want to maybe redesign or reimagine. I really enjoy that sort of thing. And I really like reading.
Nice. And all of those are like little extensions of the creative process, whether you're looking at antiques and thinking, that would go really well in this show, in the set, or cooking is artistic, reading is very imaginative, all of those things. So that seems to work for our type of brain.
Yes.
All right, so you are wrapping up here at SUNY Cortland within the next handful of months. What are your biggest hopes and dreams for the future?
My hopes and dreams for the future is that I can continue to perform professionally and make a life for myself doing that. So hopefully one day I can fully sustain my life on performance and on traveling the world and being able to do what I love. Another goal I have is I want to go to grad school, but I want a little bit of a life experience before I go to grad school, probably for some sort of direction and choreography hybrid is what I'm looking for. Nice. But I would really like to expand my education, but I want a little life experience before I do that. So hopefully one day I can live in New York City, audition, do the thing, and then come back to school and have a new, fresh way of looking at it.
Well, thank you, Olivia, for talking with us today. Again, this is Olivia Goodman, senior musical theater major. Thanks for joining us.